right. Well, that was a great film. Super short, like super to the point, thematic. It surprised me. What was your initial thoughts coming up with that? Like, where'd your concept from that come from?
Yeah, I guess that is the most important question, isn't it? What is the movie about, Kaden? Well,
I have my opinions. I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, what the movie is for me and what my inspirations were with it, which might be different than yours, so please don't let me interfere with your interpretation. But essentially where it came from is my experience with California. I'm not originally from here, and in my experience of living here over the past 3-4 years, is that, interestingly enough, California to me seems to be a living, breathing contradiction, and that what is often presented to people in, it's through its culture and through its tourism, and especially through the film industry, is sort of this Golden Gate tropical paradise, and that underneath that, because it's just a facade, it's a mask, underneath all that is something really dark, something really industrial, and something really tyrannical that will consistently hurt you and beat you down until you either crack or push through. And so that's sort of what the movie is about for me, is that it's showcasing that nostalgia and that sort of interpretation of what California is not real, and that it cracks when it's given the slightest bit of scrutiny. And so that's why the movie itself is falling apart, is because it's a contradiction.
Yeah, that's great. That's like very, I love the music choice you had with that too.
Thanks.
That was a very, very upbeat California vibes, yeah.
That's true, yeah.
I was going about finding that music and...
Yeah, basically I was really trying to find something that was both, like you said, upbeat, but has this certain sadness to it, that there's something that is lurking underneath the lyrics, that is something really deep and really tough to deal with. And ironically enough, my girlfriend who's sitting in the audience, she helped me find the song because she listens to all kinds of happy but sad music. And so we just, I basically went up to her and I said, play me like 100 songs of yours. And so we chose one, which ended up being Lonely Boy's Paradise. So yeah.
Awesome. And the footage in it seemed like maybe it was some of that like found or archival footage?
No, that's all mine.
It's all yours?
It's all mine.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I can't claim all of it. The burning reel at the end is not mine. I didn't have the money at the time to do that.
But the beach shots.
Everything else is mine, yeah.
Those look so classic. Like, I didn't think they were like of this time.
No, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time trying to make sure that essentially the beach stuff, the more naturalistic stuff, was shot on digital, but all the black and white stuff was shot in Super 8. And so I needed to really make sure that they were able to match each other. And so I spent a long time trying to do that, so I appreciate you saying that.
and for all those different like industrial stuff, like how many locations was this ended up being?
Well, the good news was that I was already scouting a bunch of industrial stuff for another project of mine that I had going on. It's still in development, but so I'm still looking. But I had a few in mind, but honestly, a lot of them just came from driving around and just, paying close attention. I mean, a lot of that stuff isn't that far away once you sort of are looking for it. You realize that it's much closer than you would probably like it to be.
Varying thing.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, crafting this all together then, what was the process like of that like? Was it kind of finding all of this footage and figuring how to put it together? Did you already kind of have, how much of a vision of the overall product did you have before you started putting it together?
It was a lot of finding it. Yeah, it was developed through my college course on documentary filmmaking, and one of the things that I was told by my professor and by my fellow students was just to feel it, and I think that was really important. And yeah, I mean, I was tweaking it up until the last minute. It was really a process of just trying to, just feel it. I wish I had a better thing to say specifically, but it really is just a gut feeling, and as you go through it, the timing just feels right, especially with like, the little especially like when the reel starts breaking apart and trying to pace those moments out, and you know, the light leaks and that kind of thing. So it wasn't really like every 2 seconds there's a light leak, or every 5 seconds there's a beat drop or anything. It was really just, and the music really inspired that too. It was really flowing and just cutting it with the music and all that. So I had intentions, but the specifics were really just found through feeling it, yeah.
And did you have like the intentions of it kind of, the film literally coming apart as it's playing, and like the juxtaposition between the industrial and the beach, was that all intended before you started filming, or was that something that came?
100%, yeah. I mean, that was really what I went after with the film, was to do that, was to showcase that. And so, yeah, but honestly, I didn't have any specific shots in mind. I kind of just went around and found the environment and found the tone, and then got specific from there. So, yeah.
Awesome. And when did the voiceover come into the picture?
Yeah, so the voiceover is authentic. That is archival.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, that was not me. Yeah, that was archival. I found it just through the Internet Archive, and it was originally, it was actually exactly what I was looking for. It was a narration over sort of a tourism video for Los Angeles specifically, and it's exactly the kind of thing that I was trying to pick apart. So it worked as the perfect thing to sort of explore through that.
Awesome. And last thing is, I just really love the title, Life in the Golden Circle, and I was kind of curious how you came up with that and when that kind of hit you and what that means to you.
Yeah, so, you know, much like what I was just discussing with like what the film is to me, well, life obviously means living somewhere, and where are you living? Well, California is often referred to as the Golden Coast, right?
Right.
And so I had to incorporate something of that in there, so life in the golden, and what is the circle part? Well, the circle part was sort of what I was referencing earlier. It's this repetitious behavior that I think we can all find ourselves in, especially living out here, and even being in the film industry, that it's sort of this repetitive pattern of disassociation. You know, the fact that things like homelessness and suicide and just really terrible things can become really normal. It's quite crazy, and that is from a repetitive cycle of being subjected to it, which creates disassociation. And so, yeah, and in a way, it's disassociation masquerading as paradise. And so, life in the golden circle it is.
Yeah. So you have this like very strong point of view about like about LA and the underside and the overside and stuff, and you took that and you made this film and you've expressed it now, and you've like, and it feels like you were able to like kind of put those feelings and that art out there. How does it feel? Like, how do you feel about the theme of it having done it now? Like, is there a catharsis there? Is there something to move on? Is it something you need to want to explore more or feel tied up?
I definitely want to explore it more, because it's a very interesting concept to me of you know, what we all pretend to be versus, you know, who we really are. And I think that is true with cities. I think it's true with people. I think it's true with most things. And so getting to the bigger truth that's inside all of us and inside every place and every town is always very interesting to me. But yeah, the movie for me is actually ironically one of my most personal movies. I always feel sort of this cathartic experience in watching it, at least for me. So yeah, it is very cathartic.
It's awesome. It means you're working from the right place, I think.
I hope so, yeah.
All right, well, let's give one last hand for Kaden.
Thank you. Thank you.